We made it.
Did we?
Yeah, it's 2021.
I can't do it.
What do you mean you can't?
This isn't my year.
What?
Next year will be my year.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You know, I still haven't seen the schedule that says that 2020 will be the year. I mean, 2021 will be the year.
You're stuck in the past, clearly.
I'm stuck in the past, clearly. You know what? Just cue the intro. Hello guys, T.L.B.P Brothers Podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
It's the beginning of the year.
I think I just said my name wrong.
What? Did you say your name wrong?
I think I did. Actually, I don't know.
Did you say I'm Yadrin?
For the first episode of this year. This is also, welcome to year 3.
Yeah, welcome to year 3.
We have no idea what's going on.
We have great things not in plan for you guys.
We're literally recording this right now, and I just texted our next guest.
Yep. Stay tuned for that next week.
If that pans out.
If it pans out, you know, like, hopefully 2021 is the year. I don't want to jinx it, though, you know? A bunch of people don't want to jinx it. So I'm going to just say it anyways.
No, so,
2021 is the year.
So, okay, for starters, so when it happened, right? Mm-hmm. On the 31st, because we're recording this on the 31st for those who want context, because today's the 31st technically for us, but you guys are hearing this on the 1st.
Yeah.
So, you know, technically we know the future, though we don't know the future. Anyway, getting to the point. So I have a friend from Australia, and she texts me, hey, Happy New Year, because for her it's already the New Year. And I reply, how's it looking so far? She replies, I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
That's gold.
So, we're in, this weird limbo in time. It's so... Everything's... Okay, so I remember in 2019 when we were so hopeful?
Yeah.
Right? Like, a new decade starting. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be better. We don't have to worry about this sort of stuff.
Everybody's buying schedules and calendars.
No, look, and then... it just makes us... Anyway, so Right, so this happens, right? And then we go, and the new year starts, and then, 2 days later, World War III breaks out.
Yeah.
And it's just... It proceeds to be the most chaotic year I think I've ever lived in my entire life.
I don't think so.
The whole world went on hold. It's
I wasn't this year on hold.
It's like
you can't put my life on hold. It's always gone.
What's on hold? Okay, well, in my case, my life went on hold. As of March, my life has been on hold. Sort of.
Honestly, I think from 2020, I only have 6 memories.
Memorable memories?
No, just straight up. So just 6 memories.
So World War II broke out.
No.
World War III broke out. No. Look, rumors of World War III. Then what was it? Then Kobe. Then March happened. Then COVID happened. And then March just proceeded
to vanish.
To be there. And then we lost Chadwick Boseman. Yeah. And then somehow we had Thanksgiving. And then we had Christmas. And now we're here. That's 8 total memories.
I was close.
You were close.
You know what? Top 10 memories of 2020 was that one time where I was stuck at home.
You were stuck. You mean the whole time?
Yeah.
You mean all of from March to now?
Yeah, that one time. No, I was still at home.
Okay, so this morning I woke up and Google Photos does this thing where they wrap up the year and they show you a bunch of pictures throughout the year. And half of my photos in my gallery are literally of stamps for government stuff or funding or
oh my God.
all of the newspaper articles, screenshots of us going in lockdown.
Just a bunch of stuff.
Just half of the stuff is just data. It's not even me enjoying life.
It's just you were one stressed person.
And then randomly you'll see a funny meme show up. And there was also a few photos just randomly in a big field, and I took a picture of the sun setting or something, or the river or whatever. If you guys seen our podcast Instagram, you can see the river I'm talking about. We have this really cool picture that we took at that river.
We have a few pictures.
Yeah, that was our year. Last year was also our Instagram has our podcast Instagram. We said we were going to start uploading, and we never went anywhere, so we couldn't upload anything.
I know.
It has just been one crazy year from start to finish.
Yeah.
I don't care how you look at it. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you've been isolated this entire year. It has been one crazy year from start to finish. I will not accept 2021 if this starts happening again. I'm done. I'm quitting.
I mean, there's been a few things that are already trying to squeeze in, from last year.
Like COVID?
COVID.
COVID just carried over?
It's carrying over.
That's some fun. It's been, you know what's crazy? It's been over a year.
Yeah.
Now we got new strains of it.
I know.
And we don't even know where it came from.
Exactly.
And, if you're in Canada, apparently now you need a negative COVID test to come to Canada.
Yeah.
Also, you need to have a negative COVID test if you want to leave Canada.
Yeah.
But you know what the worst part of all of this is?
What's the worst part?
Is that it's not that it's the worst part. I guess the good part.
Okay,
It's
the good part.
Okay, let's
Okay.
look at the good part.
Okay.
Because I don't like looking at the bad parts. Let's be
Okay.
honest. Like I'm a positive
All
person.
we've done in 2020 was look at the bad stuff.
Yeah, we gotta look at the positive. So the positive is that the world now knows that if a pandemic does happen again, which we're currently still in, how to better approach.
Yeah.
Clearly, the answer is nobody travel.
Yeah.
That's like
Close down
just
cities.
shut down. I mean, like the biggest issue I think is the problem we ran into is that most of the countries on this planet aren't self-sufficient.
Yes.
They can't survive without importing or exporting.
Yeah.
There are countries who their entire economic system runs on them exporting food and goods.
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden we just stop doing that, overnight essentially, their economy just basically went out the window.
Yeah.
So that's why that couldn't stop. It had to keep going, whether we liked it or not.
Yeah.
Stuff like that makes sense because those people need money and the world needs to function, right?
Yeah.
The other issue that we ran into, unfortunately, was that we were in a position where people couldn't go to work, so people weren't getting paid.
Yeah.
People didn't have money. People were running out of money. We weren't able to afford to, like, there were places in Italy, people were running out of money and they couldn't afford to even survive.
Yeah.
There were places like, and this is just, and Italy is a fairly well-established country, to be honest. It's been around for like eternity. It's like the Roman Empire. But what I'm trying to get at is the fact that not every country is well-equipped for something like this.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that now, just in like Asia, like parts of East Asia and parts of Africa, who have never, those countries aren't properly established and they have a lot of poverty in them.
Yeah.
Those countries were hit heavy because those people couldn't even afford protective gear in order to, like, right? Same thing happened in Central America. In Central America, they were so underprepared. Like, they were literally having to have, like, burials at night because there were so many people dying. Like, it is crazy. And then they got a hurricane coming from it is just, and there was earthquakes. Like, it is a disaster from, like, all fronts, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and COVID just made it even worse. I mean, but we also had really good things where, like, social injustices were brought to light. Yeah. Like Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah. That came out of nowhere. People were protesting during a pandemic. Yeah. I mean, and, like, to those looters, like, you guys, like, messed it all up for everybody else. But to the people who were there for a good cause, like, those people, props to them. And those people who did it safely, right? Like, they did it, like,
they wore a mask.
They wore their protective gear, right? And they, and they did it right. Those people, I applaud those people because those people, we need more people like that who talk about social injustices in this world. Yeah. But there's always that other side of people who just ruin it for the rest of us.
They started rioting.
It's just, I don't know. Like, it's just, you gotta take the positives, right? Yeah. And you know what? That movement has gone to a point now where it almost feels as though, like, and I get where, like, not that I get it personally, but it's starting to feel like they're literally being ignored. Yeah. Right? Because it's just like, it's gone to a point now where, like, stuff like that needs to happen. It needed to happen. Like, whether we liked it or not, it had to happen. Yeah. Right. And here we are. Right. And the movement still moves forward. Right. Like that's the other thing. Right. But I think that 2021 is this unknown variable. Yeah. That like I remember in 2019 when we had this conversation, we talked about how we had great hopes for this podcast. Like, just with us, right? Yeah. We hoped that it would grow and it would be this great thing. We were going to have all these great guests on. It was going to be great.
Have fun.
Yeah. We got to March. We started planning all this stuff. Yeah. And then lockdown happened. Now, for those who don't know, we record in person. Yeah. We really believe that having someone in front of us is the best way to go about this.
Because, the back and forth banter.
Exactly. There's no lag.
Yeah, there's no lag. Also, like, seeing another person's expression and build off.
Yeah, we're able to build off that stuff, right? So then all of a sudden, we were locked down and we couldn't do anything and we couldn't have people over. And we were scrambling to figure out how to keep having guests without having to disturb our routine. But then, as Victor calls it, the journal arc or the diary arc or whatever.
The journal arc.
The journal arc, we had to figure out how to keep it going, on top of the fact that we were now doing nothing.
Yeah. So now our content went down.
We couldn't go out. We couldn't go out as much.
Yeah.
I personally basically just retired from society as a whole.
Yeah.
Because I'm the most vulnerable in this house to begin with, so I can't really be going out. And then all of a sudden, the school for me ended, and my field that I studied in requires me to work with people.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, those organizations aren't getting as much funding anymore because people aren't allowed to be with people.
Yeah.
So all that just got basically essentially put on hold, and I'm just out here like, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Right. So I was trying to find a job with varying degrees of success. Like I got a few, like I think I got like one email back, but they told me like, can you work nights? And I was like, I ain't about that. And then like they were like, yeah, okay, but other than that, it was really frustrating. And then on top of everything else, now I'm in a position where we're just trying to figure it out, right? Everybody's just trying to figure it out, but it just made everything so much more complicated than it needed to be. And that's why we have episodes in this where it just sounds like it's a loop rant. Yeah, because it truly felt like that. Like,
yeah, because like we were put in a position without wanting to, where we now couldn't get guests. So now conversations outside of between us, we couldn't bring into the podcast, and we weren't having life events occur besides COVID affecting us, right? Yeah. So there was literally no stories we could have brought to you guys unless we thought way back into the past and reminisced, which is kind of leading in towards ranting.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that, because we did that, it really helped, right? And we were able to, we figured it out, right? We worked it in our own way.
We started looking at like many topics like time travel, immortality.
Yeah, we try to jazz it up, right? And just rant about random things and whatever was going on. But I think it has also helped us learn that we can also we can adapt to the current situation and how it's going. Yeah. Now in 2020, we are ready to do like full virtual interviews. We are not gonna if you can't do Skype or Zoom, I guess you're not a guest.
Yeah.
If you can't handle Skype or Zoom, then I guess you're not a guest.
First off, if you don't have Skype or Zoom, or at this point a Google Meet, you need to restructure your life, because clearly you have not adapted to today's world.
That is just what we're going to have to do now. And that's the plan moving forward. We're just going to do that. And one of the biggest issues we ran into is a lot of tech issues. Like some people, what was that one guest we had where she we were on her, she was on her laptop, and then her laptop kept freezing up. So she switched to her phone, and then her phone would I think her phone was dying or something, and then she the call cut, then we jumped back into the call. It was a whole saga, but somehow I edited it in a way where you'd never know, right?
It worked out.
I think we talked about it a few times. I left that in the edit, but other than that, you would never know that any of that happened.
Yeah.
But also there may be per usual, I think I should preface this. When we have guests, there may be loss in audio quality because they're not here anymore with us. Because when we used to have guests, they'd be literally right next to us. So I could watch the audio levels and all that, I didn't have to
pay attention to all this stuff.
Exactly. I didn't have to be concerned about that. But now I'm working with foreign technology where people are on the other side of the world. Right, we already had a guest from France, right? My friend Steph, he was on the other side of the world. His episode came out great, amazingly enough. And we had this great conversation about our childhood. Hopefully I can have him back on again, because there's so much more reminiscing we could do. I'm going to start reaching out to people from way back in my past that I haven't talked to in a very long time, in hopes to get them to come on and just see what we can remember and what we can recall, because I feel those are the good content, right?
Yeah.
Because it's stuff we've already lived and stuff we can talk about.
And who doesn't like reminiscing? Unless it's of course a bad memory. Yeah. But who doesn't love reminiscing to a good moment in your childhood?
Well, no, I think it's more or less the fact that when we have in your case, there are things that I have lived that you never experienced, right? Because of our age gap.
Yeah.
Right? And then there are things that you live that I see and I'm like, man, I wish my life was like that. When I was growing up, I've said this 100 times maybe by now, but when I look at you, when you could hang out with your friends, I look at that friend group and I'm like, yo, that friend group is so it's so awesome, because there's everybody's there, everybody out here,
everybody's there.
No, I mean the level of culture and diversity in your friend group.
Yeah.
Is unprecedented. You know what my friend group was like? Me and everybody else was Caucasian.
Yeah.
I was that one Latino. Not really. I mean, there was maybe one Asian or one other kid from somewhere else, but that was generally the vibe. It was just me and like everybody else was Caucasian. It was like I didn't have a choice. But then you got like your friend group, and they're like another Latino in the group. I was like, I didn't have that. You know, like that's what it's like growing up in this strange environment, right? Like I remember all of that stuff. But what's really interesting to me is that you're able to, that
diversity.
Yeah, and like the way you guys are able to like crack jokes at each other and like not be offended by it.
Yeah.
To me, just like I like my brain just can't even like
because a few years ago, if you would have laughed at a with quotations, a racist joke, you know, you would have been like hated on it. But like when you're in like in a small friend group, you know, and like the person of that ethnic background makes the joke, you feel okay laughing because you're at a friendship point. You're good.
Yeah, right. But then you know you're all cracking jokes about each other, and that's like that's where that friendship part kicks in, right? Like, and it's no like bad harm or like ill willed, right? It's just joking around, right?
And they're not even like purposeful microaggressions because people might throw that at you.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm trying to get at is the fact that like seeing that just threw me off entirely. I was like, whoa, this is like another universe. Yeah. I was like, this is what I want to buy teenagers.
It's like where race doesn't matter.
Yeah, like it was just crazy. Like growing up, I think we were getting there, but we weren't there yet. Yeah. Because I remember like you could say certain things.
You were in the development phase.
Yeah, like we could say certain things to each other like that, but it was like
if you laughed at something.
I'll never forget
they'll
this.
Look at
I think
you.
I've told this story, I think, on the podcast before, where like I was at a table, okay, and this one guy at the end of the table goes, man, white people are the worst. And I laughed. And everybody just turned and look at me and I go, yeah, you know, because I realized at that moment that I was the only non-white person at the table.
Yeah.
Right? And I shouldn't have, like, that wasn't the moment to laugh, but, I mean, some of them were, like, giggling, but it was the fact that I laughed that threw everybody off, like, yo, you're not one of us, you can't laugh.
Yeah.
But to see you guys, like, do stuff like that and just totally ignore it.
It's just nothing.
Yeah, it's just like normal everyday.
Of course, we won't like throw slurs because you know we have our limits.
There are limitations.
There are limits to like.
but what I'm trying to get at is the fact that you guys are able to do that just always blows me away.
Yeah,
and I can't wait for the future because society is just, you know, this ever...
the fact that we're mixing to the point, you know, like... Yeah. We're mixing to the point where the race won't matter. You'll be from anywhere, literally.
I was telling... I think I've told a story where I met this lady who she is from Peru and she married someone from Japan and her kids are half Peruvian, half Japanese.
Yeah.
And her kids speak English, Spanish, and Japanese.
Yeah.
And they're from here. And I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, that is just by far the coolest thing ever. And
they'll grow up to also mix.
Yeah, and I was asking her, like, how are you? Because when I met her, I was so curious. I started asking her this question. I'm like, wait, so how do you guys raise, like, do you guys raise them, like, in Canadian culture? Or, like, when you come home, they're like, depends whose house we're in. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, if we go over to, like, my friend's house, Canadian culture. If we go over to his parents' house, it's all Japanese culture. If we go to my house, it's all Spanish culture.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, these people, like, how do you identify?
I mean, like, in a sense, we're like that.
Well, yeah, we do that too, like, right? Depending also, but I mean, we still fall within the Latin.
Yeah, you know, within the Latin group.
Both sides are Latin, so it's not so complex.
Yeah.
As opposed to that, because Japanese culture is very, like,
it's
internalized.
Very internal, informal, well, semi-formal.
Yeah.
And like,
but it's more like, you know, more respectful.
And the Peruvian side is the Latin side that we know.
We're just wild.
we're crazy. Forget formal.
It's like loud and obnoxious and just in your face all the time. But, you know, and then the other side is like, you know, very quiet, respectful. And, you know, like it's all about honor and all this, right? So like it's the very...
I mean like Latin side is all about pride. So
it's more like our egos, but sure. It's one of those things, right? And I found that so cool. And I was like, man, I can't wait to see like future especially in this country.
Yeah.
Like, cause Canada is a country that's multicultural.
Very multicultural.
We are so multicultural. It is insane. Yeah. Like there are people in our country from countries I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Like I've told the story before. I met this girl and she was like, yeah, I'm from Moldova. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Walk away. Starts Googling. Like, I didn't even know.
Where is this?
It's a place in Europe. But like, you know, like there are places on this earth that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And like there are like, and when I was doing my my co-op / placement, because everybody calls it differently, when I was working with some people, there were people from places I had never heard before, like places in Africa, countries in Africa I never heard before, and like they're like, yeah, this country speaks English and French. I'm like, they speak English and French there? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, those are the national.
You mean it's like Ontario?
No, she's like, those are national languages. I'm like, those are the national languages. She goes, yeah. And I go, okay. walk away, Google again. I'm like, I had no idea.
I gotta see this place.
Yeah, I was like, that's so cool. And there was just so much culture in that building.
Yeah.
I learned so much about so much stuff I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And it is so cool, like, learning all this stuff. But I think the fact that in Canada that we're all able to, have that and then be able to, like, come together as a society.
Yeah.
It's just, like, we're a socialist country, and that's what makes it so complicated, right? Because you can't make everybody happy. Like, when you're a socialist country, like, people come from other places, and they have, their core values, and then come here, and the core values may be completely different, right? Like, especially when it comes to, like, places in the Middle East, like, those are very conservative, religiously held cultures, and they come here, and it's a free-for-all, like, it's all game kind of thing, right? So it's very challenging. I like also like having this, this sort of culture, but I think that's what makes this podcast so interesting.
Yeah.
Because we have people from like everywhere. Like everywhere. Like we can have people from everywhere, and we've already done that, right? We've even had people from America. Yeah. And that's not even that far.
Yeah, it's not that far.
And I discovered that they don't have corner stores, they have convenience stores.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that. But like stuff like that is just it's so cool to see, and I hope that in this coming year we can keep delivering stories in a way that it's more engaging.
Yeah, it's like it's a story / comedy / day by day podcast. We need that to be a genre.
Although we're in comedy right now.
See, I just want to call it day by day comedy because when it's just me and you, we talk about our daily lives, we make fun of it, we have a good laugh, so it's a day by day, right?
Yeah.
When we have a guest on, they're talking about their day by day, and maybe we'll input something that happens in our day by day, and they relate to it, and then now they're joining the comedy of day by day comedy.
Yeah. It's just... Yeah.
I wonder how many times it said day by day in that one.
I have no idea. I'm not going to count it either.
I'm going to count it, and you're just going to hear me randomly in the background. 1. I'm just kidding.
Just give me that one guy. Like, I'll be editing, hit the record button. 1, 2, 3. Just like counting in the background over the audio. I don't know, like...
We want to deliver something great, something entertaining, something you can look back at and be like, I could listen to this again.
I mean, if you listen to year 1 of this episode, of this podcast, you will quickly discover that we were still figuring it out.
Yeah.
We had no idea what we were doing. The first, I want to say 15 episodes...
We were all lost.
...are chaos.
Yeah.
And then we had some episodes that were quite literally chaos.
Yeah.
Because of what was going on.
Yeah.
And then we had other episodes where we tried to do something different, where we'd go on a walk and then record.
Like a audio vlog?
Which was very complicated to do. Logistically, it's a nightmare to do.
Yeah.
But we're going to see if we could do a few more of those and see.
Well, we'll make them like little specials, like an OVA.
No, we'll see. We'll see what we do. We have a few other ideas. I don't know how it'll pan out because of audio levels. Also, the wind blowing is the worst.
Yeah,
because that's our biggest gripe as of late.
I mean, once you start, I feel like once we do it a few more times, we're gonna get good at being able to describe as well as continue talking. Because we ended up describing an area we were at, right? Yeah. And then we'd be like, okay, we're describing this, and then continue with our story, right? So,
yeah. And that's what makes it challenging. But I think at the same time, we can do it, and we'll probably wait till the summertime because right now it's winter.
Yeah.
To do those because I mean in the wintertime it's even more logistical of a nightmare because you're dealing with the cold. You have literally.
Your
when
jacket
the wind,
just swooshing.
No, but I mean when the wind blows, it can kill a man.
Yeah.
Because it the cold enters your inner
you
core.
Breathe and you cough because it's so cold.
It's too much. It's too much to handle. But I mean, not to say Canada's the North Pole. It's okay. It's just it's just when you're recording while walking, it's a little challenging because
now there's extra sounds too.
Yeah,
because you have your jacket on, right? Yeah. Which you got that swishing sound, and not only do you now have a jacket, now there's also cars, and now there's the walking, and then there's the wind, and then there's just everything else.
Exactly
in the world.
Exactly my point. So, but yeah, I think that I don't know what else to talk about.
I don't know what else to talk about. All I want to say is we want to give you guys good stuff. I don't want to just walk in here and be like, let's how's your day going?
Oh, and hopefully we can get to that Q&A episode.
Yeah.
We've been teasing this.
We've been teasing this episode for like since Q&As were a thing.
I don't know. I don't know what people want to know about us.
Yeah.
If you want to know, I mean, you can shoot us an email. I haven't checked our email all this year at all. I've never checked it.
Sorry.
I've never logged in. And if you have emailed us and I haven't responded, and we haven't responded on the episode, or I haven't replied to your email,
or leave your questions in the comments depending on what platform you're on.
Jump on Instagram and dump a question, or we'll put it.
Or we'll make a story. We could do like that every week. We'll make like a.
Yeah, and we'll just take screenshots.
A quick story. Ask like people like what questions, Q&A, like, you know.
Yeah, ask me a question.
Yeah,
and then and we'll go from there. But I don't know. It's like we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Like there's things we can do and we've yet to do. So stay tuned.
Yeah, like there's so many things we wanted to do last year that we weren't able to do, and hopefully we can do them this year.
Yeah, we wanted to be at a certain spot, but now, but
everything was just put on hold.
Everything's put on hold.
It's so frustrating because there's so much that we want to do, and then the other thing too is you're graduating high school this year.
Yeah.
So we'll get to sort of go through that.
I mean, I don't know what's going on with that.
Hopefully I can find a job soon. Yeah. And literally at this point in time, I don't care if I'm working at a cash.
I might not even actually have a graduation. I might just have a video clip.
Yeah.
Roll the clip.
Honestly, like if I'm at a point now where like even as a cashier I'll get a job. Yeah. Like that's really what it's come down to. But I think because of the state of the world, it's just too many other things, and I'm planning on going back to school in September. Yeah. Which I think I'm saying for the first time on the podcast.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I
don't even think you've told some people
in my personal life.
In my personal life. But you've told our fans.
I've told great. You guys are the first ones to hear. I'm planning on going back to school in September, which will be really interesting because Victor will also be entering college.
We'll be going together.
And we'll be going to school together, so I'm sure there'll be some really
interesting stories.
And I'm sure we'll also drag some of our friends into the podcast. Yep. Some new friends that we make or whatever happens. But that won't happen until September of this year.
I'll literally walk up to like the strangest looking person.
No, you can't do that.
And just be like, yo, my house.
No, you can't be doing that.
I'm not going to do that.
You can't be doing that. That's strange.
Yeah.
But hopefully in September we can, that'll happen.
Yeah, we can bring some better stories.
For sure, but I think come September, actually it'll be crazy in September because once that happens,
our lives are going to be busy.
Hectic. Crazy hectic.
Yeah, we're going to be working on the podcast, and then I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to go write a paper.
I think you're gonna be like, okay, we're done the podcast. I gotta hand in as a assignment.
Like literally 5 minutes. Okay, guys, that's it. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. That'll literally be everything.
I'll just be like, I play the intro and then the outro, and then it'll be like, intro, guys, welcome to the episode. And then wrap up.
If April Fool's is ever on a Friday, I'm so doing that.
You can't tell them that because you just ruined it.
Okay, well, too bad. Sucks for you. If you don't remember, then yeah.
I mean, if you didn't listen to this
and
episode,
if you do remember, also, you're going to be like, oh, that's good.
I mean, imagine the people who are new to this episode. They're like 3 years doing this, and I'm hearing about it now.
Like, I got to go to season 1.
Don't listen to the first episode.
Don't listen to the first episode. It kind of sucks.
I'm going to be honest. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm very hopeful of this coming year. Yeah.
We're hopeful, but not too hopeful. To the point where people later on can be like, you were wrong. You know,
I mean, the other thing too is like we are in a state where the vaccine is coming around, and you know it's still up in the air. Yeah. A lot of it's still up in the air, and like most of it probably won't be solved. People are saying till like August of next year. Of this year now. August of this year is when we're looking for a good turnaround. And if that does happen, you know, that'll be great because that means when we go back.
I feel like it's gonna be November.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that the COVID problem won't probably go away until like 2020.
See, not until we have a sufficient amount of vaccines already with people like, you know, already dosed with it. I feel like COVID will slowly turn into the flu. To the point where like, you know how like in the beginning when flu showed up, like everybody was getting sick and it was causing a bunch of problems. And the vaccines came out and not everybody takes the vaccine, you know, every year or every so often, right? I feel like that's what COVID's going to become in the future.
Well, see, the thing in our case,
but I also feel like it'll be something that will be mandatory. Yeah. So, like, for example, like going to school.
Yeah, I feel like they'll tell us you have to vaccinate, or a class will just be online. Yeah. You know, like that's probably what's going to happen. But I think one of the biggest issues is the fact that people don't want to put the vaccine because of all these conspiracy theories.
Well, it's not only because it's conspiracy theories, it's because we haven't tested it in the long run.
That too. Well, I mean, I think it's because we have the science now, right? Like,
Yeah.
before it was very like guess and like hope for the best kind of thing.
I mean, but there's still untouchable variables, right?
Of course, and like there's also like real world variables. Like I remember like we were talking about the trial thing.
Yeah.
When they're doing human trials on it.
Yeah.
Like some guy died of a heart attack because he was old. Some other guy died in a car crash. Like
somebody had an allergic reaction, but that was because they had something before.
Yeah. So like all of these like people,
and then people started twisting the information and sending it out and being like, oh, somebody died from it, and then like, oh, you can get an allergic reaction from it, you know, and all these things.
Yeah, because like I think it's very underestimated that people aren't like, just because they're in the trial or you're in it doesn't mean you're still not affected by non-worldly. Like there are other
just
things.
Because you're a test subject doesn't mean you're always at 100% health.
Exactly, but there's also like other variables, like someone could get cancer.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that the vaccine gives cancer.
Yeah.
That just means that they got cancer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like there are hundreds of things that can cause cancer.
Yeah.
Literally breathing weird can cause cancer. But
yeah, you can.
Like you tried to add to that and you're like, it can, and it's not a laughing joke, but you know, like these are things that we as people, you know, we strive for. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to say.
I think we should just wrap up. You know, first episode of the year. There's not much to talk about because it's just the beginning of the year. We'll have much to come. You know, it'll be great. It'll be a good year. Hopefully. You know, fingers crossed. Keep them crossed just forever.
Glue them like that.
Just glue them sealed. You know, get some super glue.
Get some concrete. We're gonna cast them.
Exactly. We'll just put it on display or something. We'll amputate it. Great.
That's
too far. Okay.
That's too far.
Okay. Alright, anyways, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Everything's always in the description, whether it be up, down, left, or right, depending on which platform you're on. Make sure to share with Donkey, share with Rooster. I'm sending this over to the new year. As always, I almost said something, but I can't use that. So thanks for watching.
Wait, what are you gonna
Just
say?
joking. Thanks for listening.
What? I'm so confused. You're like, thanks for watching, but then you're like, no, wait, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace. Bye.